Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another video. And finally, coming to an end, because after reviewing all of the shitty movies I've seen from last year in 2023, so now saving, like I said, I always get the worst out of the way, and then on a good note on reviewing the best ones I've seen. Because, like I said before, 2023, I would say was one of the worst shitty years I've seen for films. And I didn't think I was not gonna have a top 10 list this year. That's how bad the 2023 was. I didn't think I was gonna have a top 10. Well, there's a couple I would probably say barely makes the top 10. There's some honorable mentions I will get to though, but if I would say top 10, I had to pick some of these ones. Someone's like, okay, maybe I'll put these up, make it a top 10, right? I mean, if it wasn't for that, I'd probably say I would have like 8 films I like this year, you know. So yeah, so I just barely had a top 10 list this year. So like I said, 2023 was a very shitty year, so I barely have a top 10 list. So, but anyway, just get into them. So first of all, before I do, honorable mentions that I didn't put on my list though, but ones I also like this year. So first of all, this one I did review though, but I decided to put it not on my list though because I thought the ones I thought were better though. But I did review this film. I did like it. I thought I'll put it on my list, like I said, but I thought this would be as an honorable mention. I already reviewed it, the film. So the Super Mario Brothers movie. I thought about putting my top list but I thought the films I watched though were better though. So, but I still like the movie regardless though. To me personally, I still think people will be mad though. I still prefer the 1993 Mario movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, better from 1993. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo with that movie. To me, I think I just enjoyed that movie more. But regardless, though, I think the animation in this film. I think the animation was still wonderful to look at, especially all the different colors, the color schemes. I mean, the voice actors. Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, they were fine. Jack Black, I thought he voiced fine as Bowser. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I thought he was a little out of place voicing Donkey Kong though. He didn't seem like a Donkey Kong type voice. But regardless of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I still like though. It's probably say it's a good, perfect product placement type movie. That's basically what it is—a big old commercial, to sell more games and more toys and stuff like that. And it's easily. I still didn't think it was get a whole make over $1 billion. Well, I didn't expect this one to be that huge of a hit though. But of course, we're probably easily going to get sequels, so for a whole new franchise. So. But yeah, if I would put it on my top list though, but I decided not to though. But I still like the movie regardless though. Honorable mention, the Super Mario Brothers movie. I thought it was quite another fun film, horror comedy as well, also action as well. Renfield, Nicolas Cage. I thought he was having a lot of fun as Dracula. You can see that he was having a lot of fun in the role. He was absolutely just like I said, some of his for the past few years, some of his choices in films I liked. I enjoy Willy's Wonderland. I like Mandy, and with the one who the movie was playing as himself, Magnificent Weightless Talent. Nicolas Cage, he was just having a lot. He was just a lot of fun as Dracula, and Nicholas Hoult, I thought he was pretty good as Renfield. And I thought the action it was bloody as hell, and action is wise as well. Especially with Renfield, he's chipping people with 2 severed arms, and people are falling down and just as they're going, and it looked at a lot of good practical blood squibs and actually good practical blood as well. There was not much CGI that I noticed. And I did like the aspect at the beginning of the film, like try to pay their nod to the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, having it black and white, I bid you welcome, Although I wish they could have used the black and white aspect a little bit more, though. And overall, I really enjoyed it. The only issue I had that was dragging the film down, as I mentioned before, Awkwafina. She was the only problem I had with the movie. I don't like Awkwafina. I never thought she was funny at all. I don't. To me, she's like the female version of Kevin Hart. I'm sorry. People like Kevin Hart, though. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Hart. To me, Awkwafina is the same way. She's like the female version of Kevin Hart. I never thought she was funny. I don't buy her as a cop, you know. I don't buy her as a cop at all. She was the only film for me that was just keeping me from liking the film a lot. Other than that, though, she pretty much was I forget what other nitpicks I had with the film, but to me, she was the main issue. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Awkwafina at all. I never liked her in anything that she was in, whether in Shang-Chi or Raya the Last Dragon, or I know she's going to be voicing in upcoming Kung Fu Panda 4. Great. Keep hearing her again. Great. And I think she's supposed to be the next, I think from the trailer, she's going to be like the next dragon warrior that Poe's supposed to train, because, you know, for Kung Fu Panda 4, like, he's supposed to, you know, like, I don't know, retire, and then he's supposed to find another dragon warrior to train, and that's supposed to be Awkwafina. Great. So I have her be the next dragon warrior. Great. I'm just tired of Awkwafina. I'm sorry. That's just how the way I feel. I never think she's not funny at all. On that, though, I still think I really like this film. Like I said, Nicholas Hoult was pretty good. The action, the gore was fun and all, and Nicolas Cage, he was a lot of fun as Renfield. I mean, as Dracula, I mean. he was just having a lot of fun as Dracula. Another one is kind of like a spin-off sequel, but it's kind of like it's a film called Missing. It's kind of like in the sort of the veinish sequel of Searching. First of all, Searching with it was a film called Searching with John Cho, which I really enjoy. I think that's a very underrated movie. Where the whole it's kind of like found footage, but it's not. That takes place like all on different kind of computer screens, you know. And it's John Cho searching for his daughter, you know, and Missing. It came out in 2023. It's kind of like it's like a spin-off. It's a spin-off sequel. And using the same aspect, right? And except this time, it's not a father searching for his daughter. It's a daughter who's looking for her missing mother. And I did like it. Of course, I prefer the first movie, Searching. I thought is still a lot better, though. But I thought Missing had some nice things going for it as well. It's nice to be using the same vein as the computer screens or texting screens, the phone screens, whatever. I liked Missing. I did. So that's another one. Another honorable mention. It's another Netflix movie, and it's a sequel called Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth coming back. You know, I like the first Extraction. Sequel, I really liked. You know, and Chris Hemsworth, two different Chris's. Chris Hemsworth, I thought he did a good job in the sequel. You know, better. Sadly, Barry's doing his Thor role, you know, sad to say. But I'll eventually review that, so I won't get much too detail into it, though. But Extraction 2, I liked. There was another good sequel following up for the first one. And the last honorable mention I'll give to is another film with stars Jake Gyllenhaal. It's called The Covenant. No, it's not related to the 2000. What was it? The film, the 2007 movie, 2004 movie, the Covenant that was directed by Rennie Harlan. No affiliation with that. It's another different title. It's another different type of Covenant movie. It's more of a war. It's another type of war movie that stars Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's directed by Guy Ritchie, who directed the Sherlock Holmes. The modern Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. That and the sequel. He directed the Kingsman movies. Then, of course, he directed the Aladdin 2019 remake, though. Probably his worst one. But this film, The Covenant, it's called Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. I thought it was another probably one of the better films this guy's directed. So that's another one I'll have to review, though. But I thought one of the biggest things, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal, which I think I like as an actor, I think he did a good job in the role. So that's one thing I'll have to won't get too details into since I haven't reviewed it. So Guy Ritchie's The Covenant I liked. So now get into, like I said, kind of my top 10 movies. So number 10, I'll start with. To me, I could say it's considered the best. Live action. I would say for a live action, which I'll get to why I'll say that. But because I say last year was such a shitty year for superhero films because I said before, it shows proof of the signs of superhero fatigue. People are just getting burned out on superhero movies, though. But to me, technically, I would say this is the best one I've seen, live action wise. But that I'll get to, though. And that is of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is the only, say, true winner of the Marvel superhero movies of last year. You can say that. Because it's the only one that made this is the only one that made money, while the rest of the superhero films that came out last year flopped. The Marvels flopped. Ant-Man 3. Ant-Man 3 underperformed. Shazam 2 bombed. Blue Beetle bombed. Aquaman 2 didn't probably make as much as the first movie did. Yeah, it just shows signs of superhero fatigue. You know, I mean, like I said, people are just getting burned down on superhero films as much as I am. You know, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 technically is the best one, I would say, because I think that James Gunn did a good job once again. Now, not as good as he did the first two films. I think the first one is still the best. Second is second, and the third is third, right? I mean, for the most part, the cast I thought overall were fine, except for, like I said, the only mention one of the issues I have is I did not like what they did with Gamora. You know, yes, I know in Avengers Endgame it's her past self. She doesn't remember anything. You know, I get that part, like I said, but she just came off as a douchebag. You know, it made her unlikable to me. I'm sure probably a lot of people will say that, but I get it though. It's our past self. She doesn't remember anything. That's how probably she always was. Like what Nebula said, she was always like that, and you thought I was the bad guy, you know. So, I still, regardless of the fact, I still didn't like what they did to Gamora. It just made her a complete a-hole. But regardless of that, though, I think for the most part the cast was, well, it did get boring at some points though. But I still think a lot of stuff had more going for it for most part though. I mean, especially of the whole story of Rocket's backstory of how he was created by the High Evolutionary, and I think the High Evolutionary to me has been the best Marvel villain I've seen in a long time, because finally there's a villain that we don't feel sympathy for, you know, because that's one thing with these superhero movies nowadays. They're always trying to make sympathize for these villains, you know, make them feel sorry for them and all that stuff. No, that's not the case with the High Evolutionary. You want to hate this villain, especially for all the stuff he did with Rocket and his friends, you know. Although it was predictable, how I knew Rocket's friends were gonna die, because this is before how he became to be, you know, and before he met Groot and all that. So of course I knew they were gonna die. That was predictable though, but still it made that emotional moment where when his friends died, you know, with Lila, Teefs, and Floor when they were killed, you know, it was like, I'm sure that shocked a lot. Yeah, it was predictable. I'm sure that people like oh, you know. I thought Chuck Iwuji as High Evolutionary, I think he did a really good job as playing such an unsympathetic villain, I would say, you know. And the voice cast, I mean, like I said, I think Bradley Cooper once again was good as Rocket, you know. And one thing I forgot to say that Will Power as Adam Warlock, he was a joke. I will say that though. But so it was nice to see Stallone in there again. And it's more like I did like the soundtrack as well, especially when we have the two ones that are playing in the trailers. I mean, Space Hog. In the meantime, and of course, Rainbows, Since You've Been Gone, which I really one of my favorite songs. Since You've Been Gone, since you've been gone. Light of my head, can't take it. Really enjoy that song. That was that was the highlight song of the movie for me. But of course, all the other songs I enjoyed too. And also, it was nice to see Nathan Fillion in there as well. Cool to see him. My dad's a fan of him because he really enjoys watching Castle and the show Firefly, of course, in the movie Serenity as well. So it was nice to see Nathan Fillion in there. Which I said I already reviewed this movie, so I won't get much into detail of it much more. So, but despite some issues though, that's why it's that high up on my list. You know, if it wasn't for that, I probably had a top 9 or 8 movies of this year. So this barely made my top list this year. So, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Despite all the issues, some issues though, I still liked it. So you can say the best superhero movie, live action wise, of last year. Because it's the only one that Disney made money for. Because that's one thing, people are so... because it's a popular name, because people like the Guardians of the Galaxy, but the thing is, though, people are just tired of Disney, you know, being, you know, all those PC and all this stuff, you know, that's why their animated movies, their Pixar movies are bombing, and other anime films, like Wish bombed as well, you know. People are just getting tired of Disney as well, you know. Not only superhero films, but it's Disney as well. But anyway, that's not a different tangent. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So you can check. I already viewed it, so you can check that out. Hey everyone, just really quick, why you see there's a cut between after doing number 10 and then before number 8, because I made a quick edit here because there was a film which I also enjoyed from last year, and I nearly forgot about to put it on my list here, so that's why I cut one part out here and put it in as an honorable mention. You'll see the difference though. So, I put Renfield. I was put Renfield, but I put it as an honorable mention. So you'll see the ed right there. But so I'm putting this inserting my actual number 9 right here because I remembered it because I forgot about it. But anyway, this is my actual number 9 right here. So number 9 is Godzilla Minus One. I really enjoyed it. To me, it's been the best Godzilla film I've seen in quite some time. And I just reviewed it, so I don't want to go much into it. So, but I really enjoyed it. It's actually one of the few Godzilla films where I liked the human characters, because the Godzilla movies overall, like I said before, for most of the movies, the human characters are just, you know. But there's other one times where I really felt for the characters, and this one is one of them, especially for the lead guy in this movie, who was a kamikaze pilot. He didn't go through with it, you know, and now he has survivor's guilt for what happened on the island due to people getting killed because he froze. But I mean, at least rightfully so. But I mean, of course he was scared though. But guns wouldn't have done anything against Godzilla anyway. So, but he has survivor's guilt, meeting with this woman with this child that's not hers, and raising it as a family together, and then Godzilla, you know, just wreaking havoc, you know. And I said before, the CGI looks pretty good on Godzilla though, and sometimes there's a bit iffy though, but for the most part, the CGI on Godzilla looks pretty good. Part of me is I still wish there was a guy in a suit though, but that's just me because I grew up with watching most of the Godzilla movies though. So, but I'm sure having a guy in a suit probably looks silly nowadays. But I like the whole thing of using the sea mines try to blow up Godzilla. Like one they put in his mouth as a reference to Jaws, which that was a nice touch. The whole thing him regenerating. I mean, the whole thing him regenerating is there though, but especially at the end when they finally blow him up and how he crumbles, the CGI of him just when he crumbles, when he self explodes, that's a little bit iffy CGI though. And on the cliffhanger on that part, when he regenerates, you see bits and pieces in the water regenerating, or how the cliffhanger part with our lead guy and with his he can say now wife, he can say, right, with the whole thing that was marked on her neck. I don't know what was going on there though. I don't know what happened with her in that part. That's kind of left on a cliffhanger right there. What's on her neck? Is that radiation poison or something, or a type of mutation? I don't know. So, but for the most part, and how but But how would Godzilla show? But it shows how good of a threat of Godzilla was. You know, especially when he wreaks havoc on Tokyo. Of course, the retooling of the classic Godzilla themes. You know, and then just coolly levels Tokyo and the whole thing with the lead girl's you say wife now, but well, I know they weren't married though, but I'm saying, but I'm just because by the end they get together, you know, as a raise a family, right? But she's in the subway train and just him picking the subway train up and with her in it, her hanging on. I really like the whole aspect of it, you know, and just shows what how a threat Godzilla is. And I like the whole thing when he starts using his atomic breath, like his spikes on his back started like pumping up, you know. It's like cocking a shotgun, right? And he's like each one going up and up, you know. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Godzilla Minus One. It's been the best one I've seen in quite some time. Like I said before, a lot better than Shin Godzilla, you know. that one's overrated. To me, it is. So yeah, this is my actual number 9, Godzilla Minus One. So now we'll go. I'm now moving on to number 8 now. But yeah, I really enjoyed Godzilla Minus One. I could see why all the praise it got, and like I said, the director, he was very passionate about this. I could see it, and just creating this big, huge, grand scale of a movie. You know, I can see why critics and people liked it, and I understand why, and I enjoyed it myself. So, yep. But that's the best. But that's number 9, Godzilla Minus One. So now back into my list of number 8, cutting back into me doing it now. So that's number 9. Number 8, which is a film that I didn't think I would like though, and that is of Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I was surprised by the film. I didn't think I would like the film because the last one we had was back in the 90s, and it was a 95, I think, or was it 99? I think it was 99. I did not like the 90s Dungeons and Dragons film with Justin Whalen and Justin Whalen, from Child's Play 3. He was in that film. And it was a Marlon. Yeah, Justin. He was in that. Was it Marlon Wayans? I think it was. And I remember Jeremy Irons just being so over the top in that movie. But this film, I easily like better than this one. I like easily better than the 90s one, because I think surprisingly Chris Pratt was actually fine though in this film. I'm not big on Chris Pratt. The only one of the films I liked him in was in Tony Scott's Unstoppable with Denzel Washington, with the runaway train. That was like one of the few films I liked him in. I'm not big on his James Kirk and the new Star Trek movies, but here I thought he was actually fine in this film. I actually liked him in this movie. Even Michelle Rodriguez, I also liked in the film. Supporting cast, Hugh Grant as the villain. Justice Smith. To me, he was a lot more tolerable than I thought he was in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I think that's an underrated sequel in that trilogy, the most underrated in that trilogy. He was one of the very issues I had with that movie. To me, him screaming like a girl, as Franklin. Well, at least his role was much more smaller in the sequel Dominion, though. But probably because he didn't scream like a girl in that movie. But in Fallen Kingdom, he was one of the issues I had with it. Was just him screaming like a girl, you know. Here, though, I thought I liked. Although I did like him in Pokemon Detective Pikachu, you know, as Tim. But here I actually liked him as well in this. As this what was he? I forgot. Was he an elf sorcerer? Because I remember because he had the pointed ears. So, and but yeah, I actually liked Dungeons and Dragons, and to me this is better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is why I think, because they have this different team. It's kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy version, right? But I actually liked it. This is why I put this above Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I thought it was a very fast-paced movie. I didn't think it was boring at all. I thought some of the humor, what it was consistent. It was consistent. What I'm trying to say is with its humor in this, with the fit of the movie, with its humor, it was very consistent. What I'm trying to say. And I thought one of the best scenes I've seen in the film, which another one I'll have to review though, but one of the best things I think was the raising of the dead scene where they kept getting the wrong one. I thought that was one of the best parts of the movie. But overall, yeah, I like Dungeons & Dragons. To me, I was surprised by. So that's the point I'm trying to say. Wherever I go to movies, I always want to be surprised by. Yeah, there's films I'm sketchy about. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. What could they do before? This one surprised me. I didn't think I would like this movie, but I liked it. I was surprised by. There's another example. Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And, yeah. So I really like this one. Easily better than the 90s one. And plus, the thing is, I don't know anything about the games of Dungeons & Dragons, the whole concept. I really don't know nothing about the whole setup of the games and all that stuff, so... As a film itself, I enjoyed it. So, Honor Among Thieves, number 8. Number 7, to me, I would say that when I said the best Marvel, how Guardians of the Galaxy was the best live-action superhero movie, but overall, the best Marvel film I've seen this year was another one I enjoyed, and it's an animated movie, and it's a sequel, which a lot of people enjoyed, and that is of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I like the first one. I also probably say if I were to say I think I like the first movie just a bit more though. But regardless of that though, I enjoyed the sequel. Regardless of if I still think the first one was still better though, I enjoyed the sequel because for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, first of all, once again, beautiful animation. Really great animation, beautiful I would say. They really nailed Columbia / Sony, because Columbia is owns Sony as well, so or from whatever the studio that does the animation though, but actually no, it actually is it's Sony Pictures Animation, yeah. It's the animation is absolutely spot on, beautiful, stunning, I would say. And the characters of the film I think are still likable. I still like Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker, Miles' dad. I really enjoy the characters are still likable, and it's also fast. It was also a well-paced animated movie as well, just like the first one. And this film made more money than the first film, more than double, I would say. Issues I have with it is the ending, of course. So, of course, since the film made a lot of money, and especially ended on a cliffhanger, easily supposed to set up for a third film as well, though. But, yeah, I know it's supposed to a cliffhanger set for a third film, but it's like, that's how the film ends. I'm like, really? But still, regardless, though, I think that's one of the few nitpicks I have with the movie. And plus, with other characters, I understood what they felt, especially Spider-Man 2099. I was feeling what he was feeling because first of all, I understood both sides of the story, right? If anyone wasn't seen the movie, well, I haven't reviewed the movie altogether, but whatever I'm saying, I probably won't give too much away though, because I haven't reviewed it though. But I understood both sides of the story though, from both 2099 and then Miles, right? Where Miles, he wants to save his dad, right? But I felt from the other side of the story of what Spider-Man 2099 felt, because like he was trying to accomplish, what he was trying to do though, but then it's like his universe collapsed and it was basically erased, right? So he's trying to prevent Miles from doing the same thing, right? But Miles Morales, saying that he's gonna do it regardless of what he says, right? Because he wants to save his dad. So that's a bit of character development, which I think is better than most of all these Marvel films that came out last year, or DC movies, The characters were more developed and more likable in this animated movie more than the live action superhero films that came out. Any of them, both sides, DC, Marvel of last year, Because this is more about character development, And also one of the good scenes is when you have all the Spider-Mans are chasing Miles, that was a very fun sequence as well. All the different Spider-Mans, you know, and the voice cast as well. They also did a good job as well. I forgot the guy who voices Miles. I think he was good too. He still is. And although there was another nitpick I have with it with Peter Parker. Peter Parker, he has to say about how cute his kid is, you know. The first time it was fine though, but it became like a running gag throughout the movie. But I think it was starting to grow old very fast. But that's another nitpick though. But regardless though, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I really enjoyed it though. Yes, I still like the first one to film a bit more though. But regardless though, still enjoyable sequel though. And if there was a third, it's supposed for the do the cliffhanger set for a third film, I'll be interested in it because I like the first two movies. If they're making a third film, I'm all for it, as long as they don't screw it up, you know. But sometimes that tends to happen nowadays. They keep make some films are good, but they just tend to make it screwed up for another sequel. But regardless, though, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a very good sequel, I would say. So that's number 7. Number 6, which I thought I thought I was gonna put this as the best horror film I've seen from last year. But after that though, I was given some time to think about. Maybe I will say this other one. I think it was the better horror film because I was having more fun with that movie though. So I kind of changed my mind and put the one that's further down my list is the best horror film I've seen. But this one I still liked it because to me I would say is technically it's the best slash film I've seen from last year. I would say that definitely the best. I would say the best slash film I've seen from last year, and that is of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, from I think director Eli Roth did a good job from adapting from his fake trailer that was from the Grindhouse movies, and I thought it was a very good. I thought he. Although I think like I said before, I think Eli Roth is better off as just directing and not write because, like I said before, I think he can't personally. I don't think he can't write for crap when he does his movies. He's just better off just directing. That's it. But the thing is, though, I think he did a good job with the movie regardless. Though I think the cast, for the most part, I mean, Patrick Dempsey as the sheriff. Although I would like to have seen if it was Michael Biehn still, because that's how the sheriff was played by Michael Biehn in the trailer. Part of me wishes that it was still Michael Biehn, but regardless, I think Patrick Dempsey was still pretty good as the sheriff. Now, this one I did review, though, so I won't get much into it because, hey, and I also reviewed it, spoilers, though, so when I did that review of it, so you can check that out, though, as I reviewed that movie already, though, but I think, overall, yeah, some of the characters were, the supporting characters, like the teens, you know, were kind of left to be desired though, but hey, it was also nice to say Rick Hoffman, because I released it before I remember from Cellular. He was the guy that had his Porsche and Chris Evans stole from, and I remember he was in the impoundment area. He was trying to get his car back. That was funny. And of course I remember he was the rich American from Hostel as well, you know. Say, hey, how do I look? Maybe I should go with a gun. No, that's too quick. I'll just go with this. The knife is slow and painful. He was the guy who was the main girl, the lead girl's father, which actually turns out he was not a douchebag in that movie. Really enough, he was actually a pretty decent. He was actually a pretty decent father. Owned this the supermarket, right? His character surprised me. I thought Rick Hoffman when I saw him, I thought he was gonna be a douchebag, you know, like he has been, right? No, actually, no, he wasn't. Really enough, he was actually a very decent father to the girl, you know. So. But yeah, but Thanksgiving, I liked it. It was a pretty some good practical gore as well. As some of the stuff you've seen from the fake trailer that we've seen before though. But like I said, I reviewed it, so I won't go much into it. So, but Thanksgiving, I would say the best slasher film I've seen from last year. To me, I like this a lot better than Scream 6 or most of the horror films I've seen from last year. Easily better than Scream 6, and of course, yes, I'll at least say easily better than Winnie the Pooh, like I said before. Better than the horror films I've seen from last year. So yeah, Thanksgiving, yes, I enjoyed it. So that's number 6. Number 5, which I did review, I also reviewed, which I have it right here, which this is too surprisingly, I like this sequel better than the first two. I was also surprised by this movie because the thing is, I like it. In fact, it's a standalone sequel, and I think Michael B. Jordan did a good job directing this film, and that is of Creed 3. Yes, I wouldn't have thought I would not have liked a Creed movie since I don't like the first two ones. I don't, in my opinion. This though, I did actually enjoy this one because it's a standalone sequel. I'm glad that Stallone is not in this. Yes, they mentioned Rocky. No, actually, I think they mentioned Rocky. I don't remember. Because we've seen the pictures of Carl Urban's Apollo Creed though, but but I think it was nice that the Stallone's not in this. And that Michael B. Jordan did a good job with this movie. Not only he did a good job directing the film, but I think also his character of Adonis Creed much more likable. More likable to him of being a father, having fun playing with his daughter, and also, like I said, I understood from both sides from the story, like in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I started both sides of the story, like with Miles and 2099, right? Here, Jonathan Majors who plays as Damien. Diamond, or his ring name, Diamond Damien. I thought Jonathan Majors did a really good job with this role. Yes, I've heard what happened though, but regardless of that though, I think Jonathan Majors was, like I said, I'll still defend his performance as Kang. Okay, he was still good as Kang the Conqueror. I'll still say that though. Whether you think of the guy now, I still like him, his portrayal of Kang. That's another Marvel villain, sadly though, and not so good in sequel though, but another good Marvel villain I've seen along with the High Evolutionary. But his performance in this film, I thought he did a good job because I understood, like I said, from both sides, especially his motives, because for what happened, and which I said, I reviewed this film, so I don't explain much in this film, so you can just check out my review of the film. And I thought it was like the fights, the boxing sequences. I thought it was well done because I think that Michael B. Jordan said he took some of the boxing sequences in slow mo, the use of like in the style of anime. I thought that was kind of a cool thing what he did. Although, particularly, I wasn't a fan of the score, or like I said, the soundtrack. Like some of the raps, like I said, I'm not a fan of rap though. There's some of the rap songs I have in there. I just was not interested in though. But the training montage, the boxing sequences, I thought were really well done. Here, I thought Tessa Thompson I thought was much better than her portrayal in Valkyrie, in the Marvel films though. But I think overall, yeah, I enjoyed. Another film I was surprised by. I didn't think I would like a Creed movie. To me, I can just watch this, over and not watch the first two Creeds because it's like I said, it's a standalone sequel. Yes, it's still in the Rocky universe still though, but it's just better off with not having Stallone because if you put him in there, okay, just getting tired, like I said. But I already talked about this film, so Creed 3, I give a thumbs up for. I was really surprised by. Michael B. Jordan did a good job acting, let alone directing this movie. And Jonathan Majors, where you think of him nowadays, I still think he did a good job as Damien. Because I understood from both sides the story of their rivalry, as they used to be good friends, and now now it's turned into turmoil between the two of them. I really enjoyed that story. I did. So, Creed 3, number 5. Number 4, this one I changed my mind and put him back as the best horror film I've seen. And this is another one I reviewed for Halloween month, And that is of people can say otherwise, but I really enjoyed this film. And that is of the Pope's Exorcist, starring Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, one thing right off the bat, Russell Crowe was very fun in the role. As Father Gabriel Amorth as the chief exorcist of the Vatican. I thought he was a lot of fun in this role. And especially he had a lot of good like lines of dialogue in the film, especially when he was talking to the demon or the devil, whatever. And I thought Franco Nero, who plays this young father, a young priest, is teaming with Russell Crowe. I thought he was fun too. He was fine for what he was given to because it was it's a horror film though, but it actually to me became more of like a buddy cop type movie, a buddy cop type action movie. I mean, which that kind of made it to me kind of refreshing for a horror film, you know. Instead of two cops, it's these two priests, but it's like a buddy cop style though, and I think that's one of the things why I liked about it. You know, it kind of made it refreshing, you know. And like I said, Russell Crowe, he was a lot of fun, especially a lot of the fun lines of dialogue he says, especially with the demons when he's trying to look into his fears, you know, and he's like, "My fear is the French winning the Stanley Cup. That's my nightmare." You know, kind of like try to talk smack to the demon. I mean, yeah, it was for try to figure out this whole mystery. You know, like I said, down here it says it's The Exorcist meets the Da Vinci Code, and I thought it was a very fun movie. Like I said before, and it was also cool to see what was his name? Was it Daniel Zovedo? He was the guy from Die Hard 2. He was the general that the bad guys want, you know, General Esperanza. Yeah, General Esperanza from Die Hard 2. You know, he was in this as like the lead pope in this movie. It's like, oh, cool, you know, hey, it's General Esperanza from Die Hard 2, you know. That was cool to see him. So yeah, I thought Julius RV, the same guy who directed Overlord, the World War II Nazi zombie movie, you know, a la Call of Duty's zombies, right? I thought he did a good job with this film. I enjoyed Overlord, and like I said, Russell Crowe was very fun in this role. It's probably one of the best performances I've seen from him from a long time, you know. And like I said, the fact that it became more like a buddy cop type movie made it. And a little kind of like an action movie as well. But yeah, I will still say it is the best horror film I've seen from last year, you know. Like I said, better than all the shitty horror films I've seen from last year, easily. Like I said. So yeah, number 4, The Pope's Exorcist. A lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with the film. Number 3 and number 3. This is more of a it's a comedy that has comedy, but it's more of a drama, and this is getting some Oscar buzz. Already got an Oscar buzz as it is, and that is of The Holdovers. I actually like this film. It's kind of like in a certain way it's like in a way a cross between Dead Poet Society and a hyphen / Goodwill Hunting in a way. That's why how I foresee it, you know, and I thought it was a pretty good drama. It has comedy in it as well, and Paul Giamatti, I think he did a really good job in this role. I think he's nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor, and I think deservedly so because I like Paul Giamatti as an actor. I thought he did a really good job as this teacher, you know. It's kind of like I said, it's a cross between those two movies, like I said before. You know, he's a teacher who's kind of a little bit hard on his students, you know. But and there is these group of students, you know, they stay for like the holiday break, I think it was. But there's this one kid that Paul Giamatti kind of bonds with. You know, we get a bit more of what this kid's life is. And then we get more into what Paul Giamatti's and his backstory was, helping each other out, and overall, yeah, it was a pretty good drama comedy or a drama, or is it what they call a dramedy? I think they call it when it's a drama and comedy. I think it's a pretty good dramedy. And let's say Paul Giamatti, I think he did a really good job in this role. I think I would like to see him. I would like to see him win an Oscar because I don't think he has. I don't think he has won an Oscar before. I would like to see that. I think he did it. He was best of the best. He's the film that what carried the movie. You know. Oh, it's another film I'll have to review as well. The Holdovers. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Number 2. I was conflicted about what should I put as number 2 or number 1. But I think I put as of most of deciding. I think I put this as number 2, and it's another drama. It's another drama, and guess what? Shocker! It's another from the studio. It's another film that's not a horror film from the studio A24. Oh my god! Yes, A24. And it's a film called The Iron Claw. The Iron Claw is a drama, another drama. It starts like what was it? It stars Zac Efron. Yeah, as I was saying, Zac Efron. I think it's easily one of his best roles I've seen from him. How he got more into real shape, you know. But he plays as a professional wrestler Kevin Von Erich, and it's focused on more on the Von Erich family as well. But I was saying yes, A24. It's like what I've been saying since I started rambling on A24. I said before and I'll say it again. When they don't make horror films, I enjoyed them. But when they do make horror films, they all suck. I don't know how many times I have to explain this, you know? I mean, a film from A24, Iron Claw, drama, I liked it. And the other ones, like I said before, I like The Disaster Artist. I really enjoyed Uncut Gems. I mean, I don't know, it's a running thing, you know? It's like I said before, horror films they do, suck. Not horror films, I like. I mean, this is just further perusing, you know. But anyway, I was just saying, the Iron Claw, like I said before, is based on the story about Kevin Von Erich and his family. I know that it's based on the real life story, right? I know the fact that I think I know that some of the criticisms. I think there was like 4 brothers, and I think they left out they left out a brother. I think they did. I don't know if with the criticism was aimed at that because they left out a whole brother out, but I think it was kind of a poor thing to do though, because it was based on real life events, right? And there's like 4 brothers and you leave one out. I don't know. I think it's kind of a dumb thing though. But regardless of that though, I think Zac Efron, at least as Kevin Von Erich, I think he did a really good job in it. I think easily when he played one of his best roles yet. And how the film just delves into the story of this tragedy of this family, and it's a very effective story, I would say. That's what I'll probably use it for. Very effective, a little emotional at points, especially at the ending, you know. Especially what Zac Efron, he has the last line of dialogue he says that kind of hits like in all the hard notes, you know, for in an emotional way. And I thought it was very well directed, you know. By Sean Durkin. I think he did a really good job with this film. I thought it was a really well directed looking movie. And I'll eventually have to review this movie as well, though. But I really enjoyed it, despite the issues like how they kind of manipulated some of the real events, though. Like I said, I think they left out a whole brother out. I think it was kind of a dumb thing, though. But regardless, though, the rest of the actors, along with Zac Efron, did a really good job of this film, you know. And just how it just shows about in the tragedy of the story. I thought it was very effective, I would say. Excuse me. But it was very well directed, you know. That was also well paced as well. And this is, just left a lot of it on the emotional hard notes, And like I said before, and I'll say it again, A24, just stick to making drama movies, if not comedies as well, like the Disaster Artist, right? Dramas like this film or Uncut Gems, right? Just make movies like these, please. Stop making horror films, like I keep on saying, because also they came out last year. I did not like Talk to Me. Okay, another horror film you did. I did not like. I thought sucked. All right, that's another. That's also another horror film. I think that got a lot of praise, and I think is overrated. This film got a lot of praise. Has an 88% Rotten Tomatoes, but I like this film because it's not a horror film. It's a drama. Jeez, I don't know how many times I keep saying this. How many times I have to prove myself that I'm right on this stuff. A24, please just make more dramas like these. More dramas like this film or Uncut Gems, please. Or comedies like The Disaster Artist. Anyway, yeah. So that's number 2. Number 1. So like I said, I was conflicted though, but I decided I had to just go with my gut in this movie because I thought it was a lot of the stuff I did like about this movie more, and that is of. Ironically, it was released on the same date as from last year when this came out on its release date. And it's another Christmas movie, and almost the exact same title, too. Because last year, we had Violent Night with David Harbour, the Santa Claus movie. Although this one here is not a Santa Claus film, but still, almost different title, and it's called Silent Night. Violent Night, Silent Night, almost released on the exact same date from last year apart. But yeah, Silent Night. I would say this pretty much is my favorite horror film. Best film I've seen from last year, honestly. Sadly, this film bombed. Sadly, though, it was not well received by critics because one of the things that why I liked because first of all, this is the first film in 2023, right? 20 years. That the first American film that John Woo came back to direct, and I enjoyed John Woo. I liked Hard Boiled. I really enjoy Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I love Broken Arrow with John Travolta and Christian Slater. That's my favorite film of his. I love Broken Arrow. Face Off I like, but I think that film is just a bit overrated though. But I like Face Off though. To me, when it comes to with John Travolta, I love Broken Arrow more. I'm not really big on Wind Talkers or the second Mission Impossible movie. But the thing is, I love Broken Arrow. I love Hard Target. I enjoyed Hard Boiled. Paycheck, the last one he did it up until this film with Ben Affleck and Aaron Eckhart, I also liked. I think that one's kind of an underrated movie as well. I like Paycheck. So, 20 years later, his first American film he's done in 20 years, and I really enjoyed it. Joel Kinnaman, who I still say he's still a shitty RoboCop from the 2014 remake, though. But I think I liked his performance in The Suicide Squad, the sequel, right? More in the first one. But here, he knocked it out of the park in this. To me, this has been easily his best role I've seen from Joel Kinnaman. He really knocked it out of the park in this role. And what I liked about it, okay, it's simple, straightforward, right? And I like the fact that one of the things it's a silent movie, because with Joel Kinnaman, because what happens when his kid gets killed and he wants revenge, right? And he gets shot, he gets his throat is damaged, so he can't speak, right? And this becomes more of a silent movie. To me, that's kind of a refreshing thing nowadays because, hey, an action film that's like a silent movie? Okay, that's kind of a different thing I've seen nowadays. And, of course, we remember with John Woo with his usage of slow-mo he does, But, I wish there was a bit more action in this movie, though. That's kind of like the only nitpick I have with the movie. I wish I could see more action because, me, I'm always a sucker for action, so, because it's John Woo, right? To me, I think John Woo did a good job with this movie. Now, I wouldn't say this is, oh, this is the John Woo, he's back, you know, and, sadly that's not the case because this film bombed, you know, sad to say, though. But, to me, it's, because I know John Woo, he goes back, you know, does his movies back in China, you know, and, but, as far as the American film, yeah, for 20 years, when he came back, I think he did a good job with this movie. I really enjoyed the story. Yes, it's a revenge story we've seen done 100 times. A loved one gets killed. They get revenge, right? But the more stuff, the action and the silent movie element, and with Joe Kinnaman, not with his voice, but his emotions and body language, and getting revenge on these bad guys. I really enjoyed it. You know. I think John Woo coming back, I think he did a good job, you know. Yes, I love Broken Arrow more. To me, that's always be his best movie. Especially for me and my brother, we always enjoyed that film. We grew up watching Broken Arrow so many times together. That's why John Woo's best film was always be Broken Arrow. But regardless, though, John Woo, I think he did a good job coming back to make his first American film in 20 years. I think he did a good job. And Joel Kinnaman, he really knocked out of the park with his role in this film. To me, yes, it's been his best role easily I've seen from Joel Kinnaman. I think was it Marco Beltrami who did the score for this movie? I forget though. I mean, the score is all right though. I just wish I would love to see more action in the film. That's the only nitpick I have. I would like to see more, you know, because I'm an action person. I want to see more action. Because I was having a lot of fun with this film. And some of the stuff like I said, I have not yet fully reviewed the movie though, but I won't give much away though because I want to say more on how the action goes. So, but yeah, overall, yeah, Silent Night. Like Silent Night, Violent Night. Yeah. But regardless, I really enjoyed the film. To me, I would put this as my favorite film. Like I said, I was conflicted on putting this or the Iron Claw as 2 or 1 though, but I just had to go with my gut and so put Silent Night as number 1. It's just too bad the film flopped because I was the only one who saw. I was also I was the only one I saw this. I was the only one in the theater when I saw this. This shows how much people give a shit about the movie, I guess. But hey, like I said, when me and my girlfriend saw Night Swim, we were the only ones in the theater. To me, yeah, but that's this year though, not 2023 though. But it shows how much people just don't give a damn about that movie, I guess. So that's why I'll probably put that as an underrated movie now because I think John Woo, once again did a really good job with the film, and Joel Kinnaman his best role. So yeah, but Silent Night number 1. So yeah, so that's my top 10, barely top 10 I would say of last year, 2023. So yeah. So I hope you all enjoy. I finally get a chance to get these videos done. I know people have been asking me, but like I said, I was having a lot going on and just didn't really get a chance to get to it, you know. But now I finally did. I hope you guys are satisfied, though. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and we'll see you next time. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed my list. Like I said, it's all opinion based, though. People have different opinions, though. So this is my list, though. Especially wasn't much though, since how last year was once again 2023 was one of the very shitty year and one of the worst years I've seen. So just take what you get, you know. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time. Later.